Hadith number 7. عن سهل بن سعد الساعدي رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بشر المشائين في الظلم إلى المساجد بالنور التام يوم القيامة. Hazrat Sahl bin Sa'd radiyallahu anhu narrates that he heard Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam saying, "Give glad tidings to those who go to the masjid frequently during the hours of darkness, for they will have perfect light on the day of judgment." The value of going to the masjid in the darkness of night shall be realized on the dreadful day of judgment, when everybody shall be in a very miserable plight. A person subjecting himself to inconvenience in the hours of darkness in this world shall be more than compensated in the next, as he shall carry with him a light more glorious than that of the sun. In a hadith it is reported that such persons shall occupy the pulpits of light with no worry at all, while others will be in utter bewilderment. In another hadith it is said, Allah will say on the day of judgment, "Where are my neighbors?" The angels will inquire, "Who are thy neighbors, O Allah?" Allah will reply, "Those who used to frequent the mosques." In a hadith it is said, "Of all the places on this earth, the masajid are the dearest to Allah, and the markets are the most offensive to Him." In another hadith, the masajid are called the gardens of paradise. Hazrat Abu Sa'id radiyallahu anhu narrates, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam once said, "Bear testimony to the iman of the person frequenting the masjid." And then he recited the following verse of the Quran, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. He shall only tend Allah's masjid who believes in Allah and the last day. The following are a few more ahadith about the virtues of Salahul Jama'at. Making wudu when inconvenient, walking towards the masjid and sitting there after one salah, waiting for the next salah, wipes out the sins. The further a person lives from the masjid, the greater the blessing he receives. This is so because a person coming from a distance shall have to walk more, and, as already mentioned, every step will fetch him a blessing. For this reason, some companions have been reported to be taking short steps in going to the masjid in order to earn more blessings. There are three things in this world for which people would fight with one another if they came to know their rewards. These are to call out the azan, to go to the masjid for zuhr in the scorching heat of the sun, and to be in the first line while in salah with jama'at. 7 persons shall be accommodated under the shade of Allah's mercy on the day of judgment, when everybody will be most bewildered under the inconceivably intense heat of the sun. One of them will be the person whose heart remains attached to the masjid. He is anxious to return to the masjid if he leaves it on any account. Another hadith narrates that Allah loves those who love the masjid. Each article of faith in Islam is a source of innumerable blessings and rewards from Allah, and carries boundless benefits showered on those who adhere to it. Besides, no commandment of Allah is without a deep significance. It is often difficult to understand the full benefit of Allah's commandments, as no one can encompass His knowledge and wisdom. Some of the sages of Islam have tried to explain the importance of Salahul Jama'at, but their explanations vary with the extent of their understanding and their power to probe into divine secrets. Our respected Sheikh Shah Waliullah Dahlawi, may Allah illuminate his grave, in his famous book Hujjatullah al-Balighah, writes, "To save the people from the fatal effects that their own customs and rituals can bring them, there is nothing more useful than to make one of the religious services so common a custom and so public a ritual that it may be performed openly before everybody by any person, whether he be learned or illiterate. The townfolk and the countrymen should both be equally anxious to observe it. It should become a subject of rivalry and pride among all of them, and it should be so universally practiced that it becomes part and parcel of their social setup, so much so that life without it may be worthless for them. If this is achieved, it will help in establishing the worship and obedience of Allah, and will form a very useful substitute for those rituals and customs which could cause them serious harm. Since Salah is the only religious observance that surpasses all others in importance and universality, both in reason and authority, it becomes therefore absolutely necessary to get it established universally by propagating it and by arranging special congregations where it can be performed with absolute unity of form and purpose. Further, in every community or religious society, there are a few people who have the capacity to lead, while the rest simply follow. There are some others who can be corrected with a little counsel or reproach. Then there is a third grade of people who are very weak in faith, and if they are not made to worship in public, they are prone to discard it altogether. It is therefore in the best interest of the Islamic society that all its members perform the worship collectively and in congregation, so that the delinquents may be distinguished from the observers and the shirkers from the adherents. This will also cause the people with less knowledge to follow the ulama, and make the ignorant to learn from the learned the specific requirements of worship. The worshipper will distinguish right from wrong and genuine from counterfeit, so that the right and the genuine may prevail and the wrong and the counterfeit may be suppressed. Besides, these congregations of people loving Allah, seeking His mercy, constantly fearing Him, and having their hearts and souls turned to Him alone, have the wonderful effect of causing His blessings and mercy to descend from heaven. Moreover, the Muslim community has been raised so that the word of Allah be held supreme and Islamic order be paramount over all others. This object cannot be achieved unless all Muslims, big and small, the elite and the common, the townfolk and the countrymen, perform alike the most sublime service and the most sacred ritual of Islam, that is Salah, by assembling together in one place. It is for this reason that the Sharia, that is Islamic law, lays such special stress on Friday congregation and on Salahul Jama'at, by explaining the blessings that accrue therefrom and punishments awarded for neglect thereof. For the open and conspicuous observance of this important service, two types of assemblies are required, one for people of a clan or a particular locality, and the other for the people of the whole town. Since the assembly of the former at any hour is convenient, and that of the latter comparatively difficult, so for the former the gathering for Salahul Jama'at 5 times daily has been laid down, and in the case of the latter gathering, the weekly Friday Salah has been devised and ordained.